Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hello, Miss Poppy. Good to see you. Hi.
Hello, Peggy.
Hey there. Ian McNulty, food writer for the Times Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hello, Ian. Hi.
Hi, Peggy.
Doug MacCash, who covers the arts and culture scenes also for the Times Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hello, Mr. Doug. Hi. And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hello, Alan. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Poppy, one local bakery has had more than its share of challenges.
Well, this is just potentially a huge loss for New Orleans. I'm talking about Grayson Gill, who is the baker owner at Bellegarde Bakery. And Grayson arrived on a Greyhound bus in New Orleans in 2009 when he was just 23 years old. And in the ensuing years, he has really made his mark on the culinary scene. You know, he's really one of us. He has a love for New Orleans like you and I do, Peggy. And so when he was looking for a name for the bakery, he called it Bellegarde because he did the research and discovered that was the name of the first New Orleans bakery back in 1722. And on just yesterday, I saw Adolfo Garcia, and we talked about that. And he said, you know, that kid changed single-handedly by himself bread in New Orleans, which is a really hard thing to do in the land of the poor boy loaf. And unfortunately, he's closing the bakery tomorrow. The future of the bakery is unknown. So much now is going to have to do with whose landlord is willing to deal and who isn't. And I think that's part of his problem there. But what's crazy is he's nominated for a James Beard Award. So come September, he may be named the best baker in the nation. And just by the way, I'd like to say that all those New Orleans chefs who are up for Best Chef of the South, they name Bellegarde Bakery by name on their menus. So that's the kind of influence that Grayson has had. And I know there's something big coming for him, but it just may not be on Apple Street.
Yeah, we wish him well. And Poppy, just a sort of a P.S., because you had mentioned Napoleon House a few weeks back, and my husband Errol and I went on Sunday, like Sunday 11:30ish, so it was sort of still early. So delightful, hadn't been there in a while. You know, he had, of course, the muffalata. I had a muffalata salad, the classical music, the beautiful dim lighting. It's just and cheery, though, and great service. But I really wanted to recommend, if you haven't been to Napoleon House lately, this is the time. And then we walked over to the Presbyterian and saw the gay carnival exhibit there, which was great. And they still have the Katrina exhibit. And, of course, there's going to be a special anniversary coming up. But I couldn't recommend it more highly. Their current hours, just to update, Wednesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then Friday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. But we even ran into Chef Chris. But what a wonderful bunch of folks, and Catherine Brennan, too. So it's like Ralph Brennan, I'm telling you, they are so on the ball. Just a great meal. And, of course, we had a Pim's Cup. So
really fun to be a tourist in your own hometown, isn't it?
Yes, and we are definitely doing that this summer. Yes. Thank you, Poppy. And moving on to Ian, and some local bars have got to have a plan B, don't they?
Peggy, you know, we have the word came down from Baton Rouge from Governor Edwards that all bars were closed as a tweak to the phase 2 reopening process. And that sounded pretty sweeping, but like everything in this crisis, it seems not as simple as it sounds. And there's another avenue open for bars to continue some business with takeout and curbside. So what does that look like for a bar? We saw what restaurants did in phase one when they were restricted to takeout and curbside. How does that work for your corner bar, for your neighborhood bar? Well, it plays out in different ways. I did take it upon myself to visit a few and see how they were doing. The technique varies from door to door, but the general idea is you can't go inside, but they can continue to serve food if they have a kitchen, and they can continue to serve drinks to go. There's one thing that New Orleans already knows pretty well in this thing. It's Go Cups, right? Well, that's now become the option for these places to stay open. Now, I should note that not all bars are open in any capacity whatsoever. In fact, quite a few of them are closed completely. Others may be open 1 or 2 days. Some are doing pre-orders. But there are some all around town that are continuing to operate as takeout-only operations. Now, there's a fine line between bar and restaurant, right? In practical usage, how often do you go and get a burger at a bar? That'll be dinner, and bars that have that service have kept that up. The Beach Corner is a great example on Canal Boulevard. Well known for its burger. It's keeping those coming out the front door along with go drinks for folks stopping by. Neighborhood places, Mid-City Yacht Club, right around the corner from there by the St. Patrick Ballpark. And you step up to a folding table under a pop-up tent and order your beverage, and you see neighbors walking by with their dogs and just people who want to come support the bar, and they come out and order some takeout food and a go drink. But to your point earlier about being a tourist in your hometown, if you go down to the French Quarter, you're going to see a few bars that are open with this model too, where the window or the door that you used to see people perched on to watch the passersby, that's now the service portal for this whole operation. So Aaron Rose is one. Molly's on the Market on Decatur Street is another, serving up their frozen Irish coffees right out the window. So if you're looking for a little pop, if you're looking to do your own sort of hometown tourism, if you're just looking to support one of these businesses with a burger next time you need a meal, there are options out there, even though the bars cannot be open for indoor service. Okay,
thank you so much, Ian. Back to you soon. And over to Doug. Completing the theme of being a tourist in your own town, there's, of all the times, of course, there is a new tourist attraction or visitor attraction, isn't there?
There is indeed. JAMNOLA, which means Joy, Art, Music, NOLA, is a new art attraction that's opening in the Marigny on August 1st. It is not an art gallery. It's not a museum. It's more like a Halloween haunted house where you walk from room to room, but of course instead of frights and horror, you see these wonderments, art installations having to do with New Orleans culture. You're going to see wonderful murals, movies, giant busts of music stars like Big Frida, Lil Wayne, Dr. John. You'll see a carnival costume closet where you can digitally try on different costumes. And you'll find a giant crawfish boil where the humans are in the pot and the crawfish are doing the cooking.
These are local artists? These are works by local artists, these installations, Doug? Or
20 local artists. You'll recognize some of them. You Go Girl, Marcus Brown. Others are artists who have worked in the Mardi Gras float building trade. And it's wonderful to see them exhibited differently, to see them in a different context. It's a lot of fun. What you mentioned earlier, it being a tourist attraction, has been a problem. It was supposed to open before the spring festival season and take advantage of all the people in town. Well, for obvious reasons, that wasn't possible. Worse yet, it was designed to be a very interactive experience where you could touch things and be with a lot of people, and all of that has had to change. So this project that started as a $700,000 project has been delayed for 4 months and needed some fundamental redesigns, and they've stuck with it, and they're opening on August 1st. So
now, let me ask you. There's one image we see you in this image.
Yes.
And what is it? It's kind of your mirror image with some modifications. What is that about?
No, that's exactly what I look like. No, it's like a magic mirror. You sit down and you can scroll through and try on different face makeup and headdresses and things, and it's a lot of fun.
I understand that.
And there's also actual costumes to see made by the dames de perlage and real costume makers. It's wonderful.
All right, thank you. And over to Alan, all about Le Petit this time, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, Peggy, they just announced the Curtain Call Ball, which is their annual fundraiser, will indeed go on, but it'll be virtual this time. And we just announced that, but we're going to get to that in just a little bit. I wanted to tell you a little bit first off, because I did talk to Maxwell Williams, the artistic director, about what they're doing. And they've been sort of going through plan A to B to C to D to E. They're like, I think now on plan I. So, as an I, because every time they come up with what they hope will be, a new way to get opened again, the governor or the mayor, whatever, comes up with another obvious blockade there. But they're trying to be safe, trying to get everything going on that. Their June show, which was scheduled, A Night with Janice, the set is at Le Petit. And again, one of the reasons that they have that show, which I saw back in 2017 in San Francisco at the Current, was a wonderful tribute show to Janis Joplin. And the lady who's the main lead, if you will, is fantastic. I recommend it very highly. But because of Don Scott Cooper, who was working in San Francisco at that time and now is in New Orleans, they got that show and they've still got the set. So it is very possible that we will see A Night with Janice before we'll see some of the other things. Now, on to the Curtain Call Ball. They are going to hold it on September the 10th. It will be a virtual event, but some of it will be live. They anticipate having perhaps some of the announcing, the emceeing on stage live, and then there'll be some pre-recorded segments. Some of it will be done in people's homes, and then some of it will, of course, be on stage. They're going to have a live auction of some sort, some VIP experiences and art that will be up for you as well. Again, 4 performances at least, an opening number that they're looking forward to doing, and hopefully a safe place in which they'll be able to do a finale. So again, that's September the 10th. If you want to get on the program, you need to get your name submitted very quickly, and whatever you need to do in terms of helping to support that. Now, also back in the Middle Ages, Peggy, you may remember in the Renaissance, they had something called pageant wagons. They would go out and they would perform miracle plays, things of that sort, religious plays. Well, they're going to have their own pageant wagon. Le Petit's pageant wagon will be out there. They're also going to be planning to do the Dear Mr. Williams show with our own Brian Batt. And also, they just did a radio play of the Mercury Players theater script from Howard Koch of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. That's on their website. And Peggy, I understand that you want to remember Rosa Deutsch, who was a very involved Le Petit member.
She was, and I just want to acknowledge her. She was a grand lady. She was, first of all, a wonderful actress, but she and her husband, Brunswick Deutsch, were extremely supportive of Le Petit Theatre over the many years. Just a wonderful, gracious lady, and we need to remember her. And back over to Poppy, something ducky's going on over at Gabrielle. Huh? I'm sorry.
Something ducky. They started this last year at this time, and this is Duck Fest 2020 to go. Now, if you recall, last year during Duck Fest, Gabrielle flooded, and there were little ducks floating in the dining room, little yellow duckies. Well, there's no water, but you'll laugh when you see there's a sandbag that's holding up the sign in the front of Gabrielle's that points you around the corner to the Duck Hut. Now, the Duck Hut is the new takeout window. This whole operation is being done just by Gabi, Gabrielle's namesake, and Greg Saunier, her dad, who's in the kitchen. They're doing this Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays only. You have to order by 3 o'clock, and then you pick up between 4 and 7. The Duck Fest is going on through August the 2nd, and oh, dear Lord, it's delicious and it's hilarious. They've got whistling wings, duck mousse, golden eye gumbo, slow roasted duck, one of Greg's most famous dishes. And for dessert, you have pecan pie and lemon chess pie. Now, what I recommend is the whole ducking menu, because that's the deal they're offering, including both desserts. So it's everything on the menu plus 2 desserts for just $50. All I can say is, what a ducking deal. And I promise you, it's ducking delicious.
Thank you, Poppy. And moving over to Ian with a new addition to the St. Claude Avenue dining scene.
Yeah, for all the turmoil that's going on in the restaurant business right now, restaurateurs are out there making some moves and, pulling the trigger on some things that they've had in the works for a while. And we're seeing another example of that with Stuff'd. This is a Stuff, capital D, okay? And this is a place that I've been a fan of since I discovered them over in Gentilly. Actually, she got its start in the back of a bar room in Mid-City in 2016. Duana Lawrence, a local cook who, had really no restaurant experience, but really had a way for making beignets and had some good ideas about local flavors and what she could do with them. And she came up with stuffed beignets. So her beignets are rambunctiously delicious, Peggy. They really are truly stuffed. I mean, these aren't just like peppered with a few different ingredients. They are crammed to overflowing with whatever the promised filling is, and they range from beignets crossed with po' boys, like think hot sausage with cheese in there, a cheese steak, fried shrimp. And my favorite, the Creole Queen, which has crawfish tails, crab meat, and shrimp, and all those juices combined and just bursting out of there when you bite into this fried, puffy, steamy beignet. Just delicious. But on the that's the savory side. You can get sweet ones from the classic, just with powdered sugar. The others stuffed with spiced apples, Oreo cookies. Just delicious. So Duana, from her start 2016 at a bar in Mid-City to her previous home in Gentilly, where she built up quite a following there in this very small little cabin of a spot, to her new home, St. Claude Avenue. It's a busy stretch that connects a number of neighborhoods. She's very optimistic that the Stuff'd name will get out even further from here and that she can earn some new customers. It's starting with takeout only, as a number of new restaurants have been doing to get themselves rolling during these times. And I wish them all the best. She's had quite a journey so far, and this next step is.
And this is where the Cheesy Cajun used to be, just to give a little bit. Was that right?
That's right. Yeah, it's a storefront right there on St. Claude Avenue near Desire.
Near Desire.
It had been previously Polly's Bywater Cafe, and then the Cheesy Cajun before.
Okay, thank you, Ian. And back over to Doug. Doug, we're less than 6 months out from Carnival, but there's New Orleans Carnival news.
There certainly has been. It's been the height of the summer, and all I've been doing is writing about the winter. There are 3 brand new Carnival crews that have popped up in the past several days. One of them is called the Crew of Themis, named for the Greek goddess of justice. Another one is the Mystical Order of the Phoenix, named, of course, for the mythical bird that rises from the ashes. And a third one, the Crew of Harmonia, named for the goddess of harmony. And all 3 of these crews are composed of former members of the mystic crew of Nyx. Nyx was, at last Carnival, the largest, arguably the largest Mardi Gras crew. They had 44 floats, 3,500 members, and they're very ambitious. In fact, it's on July 27th of 2020, this next week, they had planned to stage the first summertime Mardi Gras style parade. The mayor didn't permit the parade because it fell during the hurricane season. But nonetheless, it tells you how ambitious Nyx was. And now we're not certain of the future of Nyx at all. And what happened, as most people know now, in May, the captain used the controversial phrase, "All lives matter," in social media posts that represented the crew. That phrase is widely seen as being dismissive of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it led to a mass resignation of the members of Nyx. Well, those same members would still like to participate in Carnival, so they've formed these new crews. And that's simple enough, but what they can't do is parade individually because there are only so many parades allowed each season. The city is trying to cap the number of parades at 30, so there's no room for 3 new parades or any new parades. So what's happened is the Mystical Art of the Phoenix joined the Knights of Sparta, and they will parade now as a sub-crew of Sparta. The crew of Themis has joined with Ferret, and they will parade with the crew of Ferret. And the crew of Harmonia has announced, thus far anyway, that they don't plan to parade in 2021 at all. And of course, it's a moot point in that it's very possible that there won't be a Carnival 2021. We're hopeful, but
absolutely, lots of question marks.
Lots of question marks.
All right, Doug. And over to Alan. That Rosary O'Neill is like the Energizer Bunny, always writing new plays, and you showcased one of them.
We actually had one that I guess you would call it the world premiere because it was a reading, but it was the first time that most people had seen it. And it was Clark and Carol, of course, about the Hollywood power couple of Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. And the leads in that were Kelly Lynn as Carol Lombard and Bob Pavlovich in the role of Clark Gable. And a wonderful reading. It's still available right now. I'm going to tell you, we were joined after the show by Rosary O'Neill, the playwright. And again, those of you who want to go see it, it's on the Nola Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, as well as my own YouTube channel, which is Music Lovers 169. There are all kinds of things that are coming up on our website. I want to remind everybody, Monday night, of course, the second part of the trilogy by John Bigonnet called the Rising Water Trilogy is going to be Shotgun, and that's going to feature both Lance Nichols and Kenneth Brown reprising their roles from 2009. Andrew King, Mike Harkins, and Sarah Nansabuga will also be involved. And speaking, by the way, of Lance Nichols, Peggy, he's going to be my guest Friday tonight. And again, it'll continue playing archived on all of those sites that I mentioned earlier. So keep that in mind as well. Now, there are some wonderful opportunities for viewing this week that I wanted to mention. First off, there is only one chance left tomorrow, Saturday, for seeing Connor McPherson's The Weir, which is a spooky, remote Irish pub setting for this wonderful play, considered one of the best Irish plays out there. Go check that out, the Irish Repertory site. And then next up in August is a particular piece called Cutting Up about a black barbershop. It's going to star Joe Martin and Blair Underwood with several other people. You may remember Joe Martin from God Friended Me and Blair Underwood from LA Law. And then that's going to be on Playbill. It's only a $10 suggested donation. And then finally, don't forget that between now and September, Kelly O'Hara and Jesse Mueller are starring in Roger and Hammerstein's Carousel as part of the Lincoln Center treatments that they're doing out there. And of course, both of them went on to win Tony Awards.
All right. Thank you, Alan. Now time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Oh, I've got a good one. This is to announce the Jack Rose roof at the Pontchartrain. So what was formerly Hot Tin on the gorgeous roof at the Pontchartrain is now an addendum to Jack Rose. Wednesday through Saturday, 5 till 10. Sunday, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. All I can say is Pompano on Papiat and Mile High Pie on the roof. I'm in.
I'm in.
I know a lot of people have been waiting for word of port of call, and they return today, Friday. They're returning with limited hours, Friday through Sunday, noon to 8, and a somewhat abbreviated menu. But their burgers and their monsoons will be flowing, and it's all takeout for now. So watch for them to expand those hours and service formats. But Port of Call burgers are back.
Thank you. Doug?
My pick is the Mask Up Sweepstakes. You could win $10,000 just for wearing a mask. Members of the crews of Red Beans, the Lucha Crew, and the Crew de Mayel are going to be out ranging around, particularly in areas of the city that are hard hit by the coronavirus. And if they spot you wearing a mask, they'll offer you a raffle ticket. And if they spot you not wearing a mask, they'll offer you a mask.
Okay. Good going. Alan.
Peggy, I'm so glad that Ian mentioned Port of Call because that would have been my pick as well. Great burgers. I'm looking forward to going out over there. Megan Hilty, by the way, who you see here on the left with Catherine McPhee, featured from Bombshell, the fictional musical that was set on TV Smash. She's there. She's going to be Seth Rudetsky's guest this Sunday as part of the Seth concert series. And do not forget, that's going to be going on. Cheyenne Jackson is next week. And Peggy, I'll see you at the theater.
Thank you, Alan. And now my picks in honor of Satchmo Summerfest. WWOZ will be broadcasting music by Louis Armstrong, and that's next week. And there will be cooking demos on WWL TV. A week from this weekend, next Saturday and Sunday, on Facebook, Satchmo Summerfest, they'll be doing Facebook Live performances and talks about Satchmo and history panels. So go to satchmosummerfest.org to see the full schedule. It's really pretty illustrious, including Wendell Brunius. A conversation with author Pam Fessler will take place online next Wednesday, beginning at 6 p.m., and that will be the occasion of her discussing her brand new book about the leprosarium that was in Carville. It is called Carville, a Cure, Carville Cure. Conducting the interview will be Gwen Tompkins. So go to gardendistrictbookshop.com for that, and it's a free talk, so you can set all that up. And, of course, that's going to be via Zoom. Click on events on that website. And, of course, consider ordering the book. Thank you all so very much, and goodbye. Good night.
Bye.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.